And this one is really easy. It's just a line. And it takes a fair bit of imagination to see what it might be. But as a bit of a hint, its name is Canis Minor. So what do you think it might be? If Canis Major means big dog, what do you think Canis Minor might be? Yeah, it's a small dog. It's a little dog. And there we go. So it's a little bit crazy that one straight line is supposed to be a little dog, but sometimes it takes a little bit of imagination. So these guys all hang out together. But as we get further into winter, we're going to see them sinking below the horizon more and more. So we're going to be seeing less and less of Orion and his two dogs. But that's okay, because if we look at the other side of the sky, we're going to be seeing another animal. Now this one, if we look all the way over here, we can find it by looking for a reddish star over here called Antares. Once we've found that one, we look for a kind of wall of 4 stars here, and then we spiral it all the way back. So I'll connect those up, and does anyone have any guesses to what this one might be? As a bit of a hint, its name is Scorpius. So what animal do you guys think this might be?
Scorpion?
It's got a long tail with a little barb at the end of it. And if you haven't guessed already, Scorpius is a scorpion. So as the legends go, Orion and his hunting dogs, they hunted way too much in the time of the ancient Greeks. So much that the earth goddess Gaia had to put a stop to it. Otherwise they were going to hunt all the animals. So Scorpius, the scorpion, he came along and chased them away so that they didn't hunt too much. And now, in the northern hemisphere, these guys are allowed to hunt during the winter, but as they get into summer, Scorpius chases them across the night sky so that they don't hunt too much. But because we're in the southern hemisphere, that gets flipped around. So they're in the night sky in the summer and get chased out by Scorpius in the winter. And now, what's cool about Scorpius is there's all these huge nebulae in it, which are big clouds of gas, and they're actually where stars are born. So I'll bring up some images of that. So this is called the Cat's Paw Nebula, and it gets that name because apparently it looks a little bit like a cat's paw with these kind of beads on it. Another one is called the Bug Nebula, but I kind of prefer the name Butterfly Nebula, and you can see why. Now the last one we'll look at is the War and Peace Nebula, and this one apparently gets its name because over here it looks like a bit of a skull coming out of it. But all these really huge clouds of gas that are where stars are born, so you know they're big, actually only occur in a little bit of Scorpius over here. So there's a lot more to the night sky than you might think. And so far, we've only looked at 4 constellations, but there's actually 88 in total. So I'll take us around to look at south, so we can get a better look at these. Now, like I said before, it can be a little bit tricky sometimes to see what pictures these constellations are supposed to be. So I'll bring up some artwork as well to make it a little bit easier. Alright, So before we wrap things up, we'll take a look at one more constellation that's a little bit special for us. You guys know the New Zealand flag, and you'll know that there's 4 stars on it. Now we like to call those stars the Southern Cross, but in other countries, sometimes they call it crux. And what's really cool about the Southern Cross is we can use it to find south. But first we have to find it, and it can be a little bit tricky because there's a lot of cross-shaped stars in the night sky. If we look at it, there's a cross over here, we could probably make a cross there. If we head all the way over here, then there's a few crosses we can make too. So we have to find the real Southern Cross. And to do that, we can look for 2 really bright stars in the night sky, called Alpha Centauri and Beta Centauri. And they'll be really easy to spot because they're so bright. So once we've found them, we can use them as a little bit of an arrow to find the real Southern Cross. So if you can see that up there, we'll follow that along and we'll eventually hit this star here. And that's the very top of the Southern Cross. So if we connect that up, there we go. We've found the Southern Cross. And when it's standing straight up like this, it's really easy to find south. All we have to do is go straight down. And the same thing goes for when it's upside down. All you have to do is go straight down and we've found south. But you'll notice, as the night goes on, the night sky is going to kind of twist around like this. So it's getting pretty late in the night, and you'll notice that the Southern Cross is starting to go on its side. So if we try to do the same thing now, and we try to find south, and we go straight down from it, we're going to end up all the way over here, which isn't very good for us. But what we can do is we can use another star to help us out. So when the Southern Cross is on its side like this, we'll follow the long side, and we'll eventually hit a star over here. Now this one's quite bright, and its name is Achernar. And now we have everything we need to find south. So you guys can help me out here. If you put one hand up in the sky, where the Southern Cross is, and another hand up in the sky where Achernar is, if you bring them together in the middle with a clap, that's where south is. So we'll bring that up just to make sure. And there we go, we've got south. So that's one of the cool ways that we can use the night sky to help us out. And it's actually one of the ways that they navigated across big oceans back in the old days. That's all we've got on for today. So thanks for coming to Stardome, and I'll just turn up the lights and open up the doors for you guys. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.